Right, now 60 diesels. So today, I'm going to put the Kangoo back together. Now we are missing two bits, one of which is an exhaust silencer. I've phoned the nice people at Renault, and they've done me a genuine proper one. She's coming from France, that fits, for £137.62p. Can't beat that now, can you? So, as you've seen, we have rebuilt front arms. We've got our shock absorbers and our new springs all mounted together. I'll show in a minute, we put a proper metal clip on the drive shaft, and in theory we could get Project Kangoo back on its wheels, the exhaust reattached, running, air boxes here because the top was missing off the original one, and I've got an air filter for it. Only thing that's slightly lacking is the great British sunshine, because it is pissing down. But anyway, it's not going to stop a man. We'll have to find a way of stopping the phone getting soaked, and then we're on it. Right, so first thing, obviously we've got exciting dangling brake calipers and bits. Things we're going to attend to. We're going to throw these away. It came with some new ones, so we might as well put them on. And as you would have seen a minute ago, we've changed the lower arm joints for some good ones, or new ones. So we need to swing this in here, and then we'll get cracking on with putting it back together. I will most likely do this all by time lapse again, because let's be honest, I'm sure you don't all really want to sit here for 45 minutes watching me chucking a Kangoo back together. So hurrah, time lapse. We'll go and throw this bit in. I'll be back in a sec. Right, so that's that all back together. As you all noticed, I do an awful lot of this with one of these. Now, these things are great, but they're also dangerous. So you can go crazy with the wacky gun. And always remember to go back across and check what you've done afterwards, because you can't just wacky it up. It's always worth just acquiring a ratchet or a bar. So anyway, I think we're all good there. We are all good there, aren't we? Everything's just missing. So basically what we need to attend to next is doing the other side, and then we've got to put some gearbox oil back in it. I'm going to leave all these plastic covers off for a minute, because that's going to need a bit more attention to make that nice. Chuck the other side on, and then we've got to sort the exhaust back pipe, or the centre pipe bit, to make sure it's ready to fit the new shiny bit that come in from France, which isn't here yet. Right, onward. Right, so we've got the lower arm back in, we've got the shock absorber and its new spring back in, and we also have, if anyone had noticed, some idiot, and it did get me until I went to put it back together, doubled up the little twist top strut bearings. No wonder it was breaking springs and making noise. They've got one wedged on the top as well. Anyway, so we've thrown them away because they're not supposed to be in there. So what we have currently is obviously that steering rack gaiter there is rubbish. So what we need to do is we're going to go and replace on this bit. So then that is all good, lovely. We've got that in on the bench. So what I'm going to do in a minute is pop the clip off the end of here, which isn't a clip, it's a zip tie, that's fine. And what we'll quickly do is pop the steering rack end off of it. Pop the steering rack end off? It might not be worth popping the steering rack. So nasty old gaiter, we pop the track rod end off. I reckon I can get a new one over the top of the remnants. Then obviously the locking nut, so that we know what our track is, but we're probably going to have it retracked. Right, I'm going to go and find a new one of these. Right, anyway, that's that back together. Obviously, I have to let it down, tightens the wheel nuts, tightens the big hub nuts properly with a bar, winky winky. But that basically, via putting some bits of plastic trim back on in the front, which are a bit mangy, that will do her. So I've got to top the gearbox oil back up, and then we'll go and reattach the bit of exhaust after we've beaten the studs we cut off out of it. And then I've got to attend to some tyres, because they don't match. And I don't like that, so I bought some muddy ones, obviously, because you need muddy tyres on your four-wheel drive Kangoo. Oh, and for all the conspiracy theorists who have found this thing on Gumtree advertised for £3,000, that's not me. I didn't pay £3,000 for this. I did pay 500 quid for it. So it's advertised in Netherhampton, which is in Salisbury that way. They obviously haven't still got it for sale. If they got £3,000 for it, I feel sorry for the person that bought it, because most of the work on this was hideous, but it's getting much better. What we're going to attend to next is getting rid of this nasty green stuff. So anyway, gear oil, exhaust, off ramp. Well, I'll see what happens when I try steaming the death out of it. Right. So 3.3 litres of 70W80 gear oil done. Top quality Comline, good stuff. I quite like Comline stuff. Comline air filter, new one, and managed to get off the greatest of eBays the airbox centre that the previous people decided that they needed to throw away. So I think it's this in here and that in there, and then hopefully this bit, because I think it's off of a 1.9 DCI Renault Traffic Fit. I'm pretty confident it's going to. He said. Yeah, is that going to go in there? It's sort of going to go in there. Just going to have a look around the other side, just doubly check. That's more me having it in the wrong place than it being wrong, isn't it? Yes. That'll do. Quickly beat that in there. So, air filtration, always a good plan. Right, so in theory, all we have to attend to now, I haven't put the third bolt in because this airbox has got the third bolt broken out of it, and the airbox that that bit came in is absolutely beat to death. So somewhere between the two, when we get another 5 minutes, is some sticking and some gluing in the third bolt, but this will do for a minute. So I'll quickly lift this thing up now, throw the exhaust back on because I managed to knock those two studs out, and we'll just zip tie the exhaust up out of the way for a minute until the new exhaust silencer on its way from France from genuine Renault turns up, and then we can move this thing off a ramp for a little bit. And I've still got to do the two rear inner drive shaft CV boots because they still aren't here. We've had one set that were nowhere near, and hopefully the second set will be good, but I'm not quite sure how we're going to change them, but we'll have a look at that now. I'll quickly chuck this centre exhaust section back in. I've cleaned the back of it up. I'll put some exhaust mounting paste around here, and also found a bolt that wasn't 5 miles long. Hopefully go through here so that you don't have to stack 5 washers and a load of rubbish on it to get it to do up like they've done before. So in theory, that's one more MOT fail sort of sorted. Even got all posh and got a brass bolt, so we stand a possibility of a brass nut, so we stand a possibility of being able to undo it again if it'll go on there, which it might. Let's have a look at that, because that's not looking terribly special at the moment. I need a slightly longer bolt. That's that. Bolted up at the front, it's just sort of top quality floating here to this bit, you can see. I've cleaned the flange up. And the last bit I have to change once they've turned up on these two. I'm not 100% sure how you do it. I mean, the man's sort of thinking maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea just to drain the stuff out of the differential, freshen that up a bit just in case. Obviously, you've got to pull these drive shaft ends out, so one would assume there's got to be really at least that much meat in there to get them out. Right. Yeah, I mean, you can make it fall out, but you aren't going to get it out. So, what we've got to try and figure out is how you get them off, because either you've got to go outwards that way on the end here, so I'm assuming it's going to involve taking the outer hubs off, because obviously these big trailing arms won't go that way. Perhaps then, yeah, that's going to involve springs and everything. Or is it easier to undo these box shaft bolts, make the diff bolts out, and then lower the diff down here, pull them out, clean the diff a bit, put them back in again. We'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. But what we're going to do now is we're going to fire it up, drop it down, fire it up, take it off the ramp, and we'll have a quick check move. And I think we might leave that here for today, and we'll call this episode 3 Kangoo pretty much done, and then we'll go episode 4 exhaust, gators, MOT. One thing we do need to do is just make sure these hub nuts in the middle are nice and tight. Not worried about the wheel bolts for a minute, because I'm going to put some tyres on it at some point. It's not going anywhere for a bit. If I don't remember to doubly check these. Yeah, that's tight. I'm just going to pop down the other side and do this one. Yeah, that's tight. 16 stone of fat bloke on it. Right, so I reckon it's alive, it's running, it's driving. We're short of 3 bits: 2 drive shaft gators, and a rear exhaust silencer for an MOT. So I'm going to call this episode 3. What I'm going to do now, because it's like 6:15, is get me waterproof jacket on. I'm going to go steaming on this and see how much of this green stuff falls off. I might stick a bit of time lapse in at the end after this, but basically this is the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I say, remember, we'll be back on Sunday. We're going all agricultural. Tractors, not tractors, what tractor thing Sunday. So thank you very much. Al, 60 Diesels.